Good day everyone. We're here again to analyze or discuss a story titled The Wedding Dance by Amador Daggio. So Kate will be discussing the background of the story first.
Background of the story. Awiyao alumni most likely to belong to the Igorot or indigenous people who live in the mountain areas of Luzon, the largest island in the Philippines. The Philippine island were settled by various migrants of Southeast Asia for centuries. These people built a number of different cultures and clan-based social structures on the many island of the archipelago. In the 15th, in the 15th, Spain colonized the island, spreading Christianity and Spanish language. Following Spain's loss in the Spanish-American War of 1898, the Philippines became a territory of the United States during World War II. The island were occupied by Japanese until gaining their independence in 1945. The Igorot people maintained many of their traditional cultural practices through the late 19th century and even today. Dance and gangsa music from an important part of their celebrations. Amador Daggio was born in the Ilocos province of the Philippines in 1912. He began writing poetry in high school and published his first poem before he graduated. Throughout his career, he taught a number of schools in the Philippines and also worked as a lawyer, editor, reporter, public relation officer of the Filipino government. In his writing, Daggio seeks to establish a pure Filipino voice distinct from his colonizer, even in English. Daggio writing is Filipino in essence. The wedding dance, he drew upon the culture of his ancestors to explore Filipino traditions along with universal theme of love, suffering, and societal expectation. The summary of the story. Let me share the summary of the story. The Wedding Dance by Amador Daggio. The wedding dance is about a husband and wife, namely Awiyao and Lumnay. They have been married for 7 long years, yet they could not bear a child. Awiyao, the husband, needed to marry again for a chance of having a child, leaving Lumnay's heart broken. During the wedding celebration, Awiyao and his new wife Madulimay, Awiyao, worried on how upset his previous wife could be, went home and checked Lumnay. He thought that if she will join the dancing ceremony, here, might find someone, but a dramatic scene happened instead. In desperation of agony, Lumnay just drew herself in the dark, left with no choice but to let her husband go.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Kate. I will be now discussing the characters of the story. The first one on the list that we have here is Lumnay. So this is Awiyao's former wife who is still in love with him despite the fact that he married another woman. The next one will be Awiyao. So he is the lead male in the story who loves Lumnay but left her because she didn't produce children for him. The next one will be Madolimay. This is Awiyo's new younger wife with whom he hopes to have children with. And then the next one is the exposition. So the setting is a mountain village of the Philippines where Awiyo has been remarried. The conflict. So Awiyo has left his wife Lumnay, whom he loved very much. However, she couldn't give him a child. He has now married Madolimay in hopes to have a son who will continue his legacy. And this is something Awiyo expresses as important in his culture. However, Lumnay is upset because she loves Awiyo and doesn't want this separation. So the rising action. Outside, the villagers are dancing in celebration of the wedding. Awiyo lives to try and comfort Lumnay. He offers her many items of the life that they built together. Lumnay refuses them and clings to Awiyo, wishing he would stay. So the climax. The climax here is that Awiyo finally lives to rejoin the wedding, and Lumnai runs it into the hills. Falling action. Lumnai sits on the side of the mountain, overlooking the blazing fire and dancing women, thinking about how her life has changed. He has a sense of desperation, isolation, and worthlessness. The ending. So, the reader is left not knowing what will become of Lumnai. The story ended with a flashback. Now, the theme of the story is basically all about letting go for love. So we also have various symbolism. The first one is the ganses. The ganses are culturally important. The sound of the ganses represents the man in the wedding ceremony. Like the ganses, they are strong and provide a beat to the dance or a beat to life. So the next one is dancing. Culturally, the dancing is a celebration of happiness. It is also a show of sexuality by the women. Because Lumnaya has not produced a child, she feels ashamed to dance and show herself to other men, as she believes that no one will look at her. The next symbol that we have here is the fire. The fire or flames signify the burning intensity of both love and hate that Lumnai feels in this situation. When Awio stirs the embers in Lumnai's dark heart, he stirs up both of his feelings in her. Later, as Lumnais watches the bonfire from afar, her physical distance from the fire reflects her emotional separation from the man that she loves. So then, last symbolism that we have gathered here is the beads. The beads in the story symbolizes the promise that Awio made to Lumnai. They are also very precious and are worth 20 fields. The fact that Awio gives them to Lumnai shows that he cherishes her and that he still believes she has worth. Although Lumnai rejects the hot and field, Awio offers her. She accepts the beads, suggesting her desire to remain connected to Awio.
Next is floor. A number of times the narrator draws the reader's attention to the rattan floor as Lumnai pulls it apart. This is symbolic of their marriage unraveling. Next is the night. The nighttime setting symbolically adds to the darkness and isolation that Lumnai feels as she ran away from the village. As she works her way up to the dark mountain alone, she is unable to envision a path to the future. The reader, too, is left in darkness with the unresolved ending. The literary theories or criticism that relate to the story is historical criticism. The short story The Wedding Dance portrays the cultural expectations toward men and how such perspective influences a person's decision in life. It also depicts the tragedy in cultural traditions. The conflict in the story is between a man and culture. Here, marriage can be seen as not just a fruit of love nor merely a union of a man and a woman. Rather, it is for the purpose of producing a child. It can be seen in the plot that Awiyao and Lumnai had already passed the 7 harvests, yet the latter still cannot bear a child. Lumnai persuaded Awiyao that she did everything and sacrificed the livestock and praying to the gods for the sake of bearing a child. Awiyao, however, was very eager to have a child, fully decided for a separation. The next criticism is feminism criticism. In the wedding dance, Lumnai was praised by his husband because of her strength in farming and her diligence in housekeeping. He even mentioned that he will never find someone else better than her. But at the end, his choice to marry again prevailed. These are a proof of how women are at some point are inferior to men. Men are superior especially in decision making. Culture even gave power to men, as men in return are expected of great responsibilities. That's all. Thank you.